What's up, Doc?
Pardon me, Mr. Wabbit, but Mr. Humphrey Bogart would just love to have you for dinner.
Yeah? Well, now, that's mighty neighborly of him. You tell Bogey if he wants me, all he has to do is just whistle. Good evening, Maitre D. Am I the first to arrive? By the way, what's on the menu for tonight? In other words, what's cooking, Doc?
Oh, something very special. Fried wabbit.
Fried wabbit? Love it, love it, love it. Let's have a peek at it, shall we?
Well, right over here.
Now there's a delicious-looking rabbit.
Revenge. I'm mad. Yeah, I need some get back. Payback. Revenge. I need some get back. Revenge. Payback. Get down with my girlfriend. That ain't right. Nigga hollering cuss. Wanna fight. Payback is a thing that you can't really see. On the real, it never really meant too much to me. Sold me out for chicken change. Told me you had it all arranged. Shot me down, and that's a fact. But now you pump. You got to get ready. Get ready for the big payback. Oh yeah. 'Cause that's what I like.
Shalom.
Shalom.
As you can see, hot seat 5, the two rabbis gonna roast them, but you know what? The two bums, they ain't even want to show up. You know, I told him, I said, you'd be better off coming on, because by you not coming on, I'm gonna still go on with the show without you. And it still ain't gonna be their benefit. You know, this is sad. And I'm so sick of it to the point it's ridiculous. The second
ridiculous.
Second Samuel 7, you know, the Davidic Covenant. And it's basically literal, word for word, self-explanatory, not hard to understand, comprehend, however they want to do it. But for some reason, the denomination still try to get out of it a JC. You understand? And then they ask you who fulfilled it. You tell them who fulfilled it, show them who fulfills it, and they still say, well, that can't be true because this person's talking about someone internal, which it does not say anything about a specific internal person, kingdom, throne, etc. But this is what they get out of it. You know what I mean? I know Anthony, you was on there with the post with me, so you can give him some feedback of what was going on too. You had the most of the encounter because you was what'd you say? It was on the phone with them or however that went, you know.
Like, all right, so like he put his number in the in the group chat that we're in. So he wanted me to call and have a discussion with him and everything, but you know, but we already know how that turned out and everything because he was going on and on how I come from a Jewish background So I'm like, all right, you come from a Jewish, you come from a Jewish background, right? So so he sitting there asking me, like, all right, when you realized that you was a Israelite, I was like, you know what I'm saying? I was like in my like around like 23, 24 years old. But but I always knew the scriptures. Always.
Mhm.
I always knew the scriptures, always aware of whatever it just that, like, after getting older and a little wiser, it took me, to put two and two together that, that these scriptures is talking about my people.
Mhm. Well,
Because, you know what I'm saying, the guy,
this is the one guy
yeah,
on
yeah,
on the left is Scott Wolf.
yeah, he's, he was the one I was talking to. He's the one that comes from the Jewish background. And then
Goyim.
he's sitting there bringing up Talmud and everything. So he really, like, I wish I could give y'all word for word, but when he first talking to me, I wasn't really listening for the simple fact that, all right, man, this is BS. That this is not what I came here to talk about. I came here to talk about Second Samuel. So so he started bringing up the asparagus, and I'm like, all right, there's other translation that's older than the asparagus,
Mhm.
or or, or the Septuagint, as they called it.
And what do you say
The,
to that? What do you say to that?
he asked me, well, what you use that's older than that? I was like, the Dead Sea Scrolls. It predates it like hundreds of years.
And what did he come back? What did he come back with?
Like, so all right. So when I begin to read him the scriptures, right, from how it was translated from the Dead Sea Scroll, he talking about, but the Septuagint says says this, and I'm like, dude, you can hold on to that Septuagint, but I'm reading something that's much older than your Septuagint,
And more accurate.
and you only holding on, like I tell you Testament believers, I'm like, y'all only hold on to
Certain things that
certain
help their
translations
fight.
to
That fits
to,
their
to, to
narrative.
Hmm.
yeah, to try to push y'all narrative. He talking about only reason why y'all OT believers believe what y'all believe because of the Masoretic text or whatever. I was like, yeah, I know. I told him, yeah, I know some brothers that use the Masoretic text, but I'm not one of them.
Yeah, but also the Talmud is not ours. It doesn't belong to us. It belongs to them.
Talmud does
Exactly.
not belong to us.
Yeah,
Talmud
it
is
doesn't
a
belong to us.
Babylonian convert
Exactly.
book, and neither one of these guys. The closest one on here is the guy Reuben, because he looks more like he's a Babylonian, an Iraqian, or whatever you want to call it. But this is funny. He's a I call him a Babylonian convert, but converted to Japhetic Judaism, and he's hanging out with a I don't know what you call this guy. He's Japhetic. His last name is Wolf. He's probably German or something like that. He's they're clowns. They're clowns. Clowns. But I call them rabbis or rabbits.
Rabbi,
Guys, so
yeah.
but it's funny though. His
Self-proclaimed man of God.
biggest question is when we told him that Solomon was the one that fulfilled it, and I broke it down, showed him, gave him everything that was needed to determine that this was truth. And they turn around, listen for a minute, then say, well, how could that be if mercy was departed? I said, well, think about it. The mercy did depart, but it didn't depart because the kingdom was split. It was called divine balance. And I showed them that. They said, well, no, that can't be true. It's still talking about something eternal. I said, well, then guess what? Meanwhile, while I'm posting up scriptures, and I didn't post up everything, but I posted up scriptures to verify this. Show me what you guys got to post. You know how that
And you
went.
know what? And you know what cut them the most when they was trying to imply that the the so-called New Testament Messiah, right? Because one of them said, well, such and such or whatever, trying to say they trying to discredit the characters of the Old Testament and what the scriptures talk about them, right? And like and I think you've seen it when I was like, hey, so you basically saying that JC committed iniquity.
Yep. Yeah, so you put that up there. They got quiet, silent for almost an hour. Call that
Like
game.
yeah, because I literally had to like I literally had to like join in and that Scott guy he kept posting that 1600 Latin and I'm like that's not helping you. Period.
Nope.
It's not helping you. It's not going to help you. So I just don't get it.
Yep. This is funny. This guy got up here. My body is a temple set apart of Yahoo.
Man.
You're using what you call what most of the camps use. They use that, right? But then he looked like a camper, but then he's pushing, like I said, that Babylonian convert mess. And he
Yeah.
converted himself to a Japhetic Judaism.
And,
Like,
and check this. And check this. This way he cut himself and didn't even know. Because he said, you have not proven anything. Still waiting for who is this fleshy man is. Again, the message is for David about another man's kingdom being established forever. And it was not Solomon until you could tell me who this son is that would be punished if it be committed iniquity. And we're at a standstill here, but he failed to realize that that son was Solomon because Solomon committed iniquity. Iniquity in the land
correct.
when when he allowed when he allowed them women that he was dealing with to build temples to their gods in the land, to father in the land.
Correct. And I
And he
showed this guy this. I showed him this by giving him what you call the actual breakdown of the kingdom itself being split. That is what was punishment upon the
Uh,
people in Solomon. You know what this clown turned around and says? He says, well, that can't be true. That can't be true because Hezekiah and Josiah and etc. I said, dude, if it's split, it means it's two different kingdoms. Why are you so forth pushing for the southern kingdom, the kingdom of Judah, being a part of that punishment when it's clearly Israel is the son that's being punished? And obviously, what happened in the split, during the split? Israel was punished. Didn't they end up in captivity?
yeah.
It's not hard. It's not hard. So, you know what? What we gonna do, right? What we gonna do? I'm gonna open up a simple one. Let me take this off the screen real quick.
And and, and check this though, and another way that we can look at it, right? When it's talking about his kingdom, right? It can refer to. It can also refer to the house of David.
Correct. And
that's solid,
I'm
man.
gonna
That's
prove that.
solid.
I said that to him. I said that to him. But
That's
anyway,
solid.
let me put something up on the screen. At
And
least,
so because
regardless of it, we put some up on put some on the screen, and this would actually, at the same time, give some insight to those who still stuck on that, and they'll also get a lesson out of it at the same time. You know what I mean? I'm not going to read anything about Second Samuel 7 anymore because that's common. But what I'm going to do is put the answers the answers for it. All right.
Also, can you also add what I just posted as well about their conversion in the 8th and 9th centuries?
Yeah, we'll talk about that. I mean, that's not going to change the message. That's not going to change the message. It's clear that the guys is, rolling with, like you said, it's on us, Khazarians. That's clear. You know what I mean? But they're just a bunch of junkies. Let's put it like that. All right?
Junkies.
That's all they really are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right.
That's why I said Japhetic Jews. When I'm just saying that's covering the Khazars, it's covering all those, the ones that have no connection to Abraham, no relation to Shem whatsoever.
The white skinned ones, yeah.
Yeah, well, not so much that white skin. It's the fact that they got not an ounce of Shem blood in them. That's how I should say. Right? They're missing the part of being an Eberite. They have no Hebrew in whatsoever. You know what I mean? Esau, at least he has some Hebrew in him, but it's not even a matter about Esau. You know what I mean? But this particular clown, he's a complete idiot. You join it, you convert to another nation. Bullshit, and nobody owns it about Hinduism. I said, who the hell gives a shit about Hinduism? We're not Hindus.
Well, like a good book is from Babylon to Timbuktu. That tells you who they are.
Yeah, but let me put this up here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. All right, it's First Chronicles 29. King James, we don't even have to use Dead Sea Scrolls. We don't have to use Septuagint. We don't even have to use the original LXX. We don't even have to use the Tanakh. We don't even have to use the Pentateuch. However, whatever they want to use. I don't have to use the Leningrad codexes. None of that. We just use the simple King James version, which is the problem for them anyway. But the problem is not they understanding of it, is that somebody has to explain it to them. They got to be baby. You know what I mean? So First Chronicles 29, and it's simple. It says, furthermore, David, the king, said unto all the congregation. David speaks in the great congregation. This is where that comes from. Solomon, my son, whom alone God hath chosen. All right. You see the language there? That's very easy. Is yet young and tender, and the work is great for the palace, right? Is not for man, but for the Lord God. Isn't that clear language? Without any doubts, that's clear language right there. Now I have prepared with all my might for the house of my God, the gold for things to be made of gold, and the silver for things of silver, and the brass for things of brass, the iron for things of iron, and wood for things of wood, onyx stones, and stones to be set, glistering stones, in diverse colors, and all manner of precious stones, and marble stones in abundance. Now, one would say, in this language, in this conversation, in this speech, you're hearing, like I said, David is talking, he's indicating something about Solomon, he's talking about, building something, and it's obviously clear, right? Or house the Most High, which is basically just in dedication. It's not no thing that we got to turn around and say, well, the Most High is going to bring his luggage and his clothes and et cetera, and come move in. But obviously, these fruit nuts, that's what they think. But anyway, moreover, because I have set my affection to the house of my God, right? Because he used to carry all the aspects of the Most High inside of the Ark of the Covenant, right? Wherever we went, considered that the Most High went. Am I correct? It's not hard to understand.
Mm-hmm.
I have mine own proper good in gold and silver, which I have given to the house of my God in devotion, dedication, etc., etc. Over and above all that I have prepared for the holy house. All right.
And that's basically saying that, he have a great desire.
Correct.
That he have a great desire for the house of the Most High, of
Correct.
his God.
Correct. Correct. And that's the thing. The key word here is house, and housing unit, a housing device, a housing, like you have in your home. You have, some people say we got a man cave. This is particularly for, our shit.
And for verse 2, um Exodus 25:7,
Mm-hmm. Read it.
on the
Read it.
model of the tabernacle.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. Read it. Read it. Read it. Read it.
All right. It says on Shahon stones and filling stones for the ephod and for the chosen.
Precepts. Precepts.
Yeah, but can I just emphasize as well when it's talking about the house? In ancient days, they used to refer like the house of David or the
Correct.
house of Saul, or
Correct.
right? So
House
it's
of
a particular,
Josiah,
yeah,
the house of
exactly.
Ephraim, house of Joseph. And I
Yep.
explained that clearly to
Hmm.
these two idiots. That's what they
Yep.
are. Idiots. It was explained to them. They turn around and, oh, no. They're not talking about that. Dude, sit your ass down. Take a break. You're not, this is y'all only here. We don't feed into that fish sandwich. All right?
Yeah.
Told them that. All right. Let me continue. Go to verse 4. Give them even more. Even 3,000 talents of gold, and of the gold of Ophir, and 7,000 talents of refined silver, to overlay the walls of the house withal. Right. The gold for things of gold, and the silver for things of silver, and for all manner of work to be made by the hands of the artificers, the actual workers, the construction workers, dealing with biblical times or ancient times. It's like, think of Welch, think of Pastor Welch, think of Pastor Pork Chop and his bullshit. But anyway, all right, what did he say? Artificers. And who then is willing to consecrate his service this day unto the Lord, or unto the Most High? It's like I said, dedication, a house of this devotion, dedication, specific. Now, don't get it twisted. A lot of these modern churches, places of worship, and temples, they take this and they get out of hand. You see a whole lot of different denominations and steeples on top of the churches and those and that, but none of that is no connection with the Most High's house. Am I correct? Nor the house that David built, or Solomon built, or I'm gonna say it like this: King Uzziah built, or King Hezekiah built, or let's say the bad kings, King Ahaz built, or the bed you make is the one you lay in.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that, just that simple. All right. And gave for the service of the house of God of gold 5,000 talents and 10,000 drams, and of silver 10,000 talents, and of brass 18,000 talents, and 100,000 talents of iron. Let me continue. And they with whom precious stones were found gave them to the treasure of the house of the Lord by the hand of Jethiel the Gershonite. Then the people rejoiced, for that they offered willingly, right? Because with perfect heart they offered willingly to the Most High, and David the king also rejoiced with great joy. All right. Wherefore David blessed the Lord before all the congregation, and David said, Blessed be thou, Lord God of Israel, our Father, forever and ever. It's kind of like where they New Testament twisted up and come up with their Lord's Prayer also. I just wanted to add that out there. Thine, O Lord, is the greatness and the power and the glory and the victory. You see the language, how they twist, right? See how they twist the Lord's Prayer, which was made up, but it comes from this. All right. Glory in the victory, in the majesty, for all that is in the heaven and in the earth is thine, and thine is the kingdom, O Lord, and thou art exalted as head above all, I should say. All right. It don't say Father and the Son and all that stuff in the name. It don't say that crap either. All right. Both riches and honor come of thee, and thou reignest over all. And in thine hand is power and might, and in thine hand is to make it great and give strength unto all. I mean, not much that you could say that isn't that what is specific. David speaking in the great congregation of Israel. All right. Now, therefore, our God, we thank thee and praise thy glorious name. And obviously, I don't see how you can get that other guy's name in there because it won't fit. All right. But whom am I and what is my people, that we should be able to offer so willingly after this sort? Question mark. I hope a lot of people are starting to notice when you see those question marks. That's an indicator, right? You know, and I think as more people wake up, they start seeing more and more of those question marks. That means they need to get more into those scriptures, right? Get into the scriptures deep and figure it out. Figure it out. For all things come of thee, and of thine own have we given thee. For we are strangers before thee, and sojourners, as were all our fathers. Our days on the earth are as a shadow, and there is none abiding. All right? That's like David talking in the voice manner of Job. Job. Okay. Our Lord, our God, all this store that we have prepared to build thee in house for thine holy name cometh of thine hand, and is all thine own. All right. I know also, my God, that thou triest the heart and hast pleasure in uprightness. As for me, in the uprightness of mine heart, I have willingly offered all these things, and now have I seen with the joy thy people which are present here to offer willingly unto thee. Now, that is the only key indicator of a house of separation. You know, we're all under, this is how this one works. We're all under David, right? He is the earthly king. A king, his throne, and everything else. This is his gift, promise from the Most High. Now,
agreed.
Heavenly wise, all of this, every morsel of this belongs to the Most High. Period. All right. Now, if we was to cut it or divide it or divvy it up, where do we divvy up anything pertaining to the New Testament, God? Do we see anything in there in that language? Anywhere in there? Which is critical, because I asked the one bozo, I said, show me, right, anywhere in the original text or Old Testament, anywhere where we get a division of the Father, which is, we consider the Father the Most High, even though it does not name it, but we only get that from this assumption because he's calling us his sons. But I want him to show me a father character, and I want him to show me the son character. And guess what I get? I got crickets, because you ask these clowns that, they lost. Tongue-tied. It's like they're finished. Like stuck in, what you call it?
They're damn liars.
Sinking sand. Liars. Quicksand. Yeah, of course. They damn liars, and they don't know. And I say, why you don't know? Because it's not there.
No,
that's why.
They know. No.
You giving them too much credit. These bums don't know crap. They don't know. They don't know.
Yeah,
If he knew, if he
they're
had an
teachers to
idea,
ignorant.
if he had an idea of something that he know, he didn't know who the hell he is. And he don't even know who the hell he is. All right. So he don't know. So I gotta stop him dead on that one. He don't know. He's as dumb as he look. That's how I look at it.
Dumb.
I say it like that. He's as dumb as he look. And hanging out with
Dumb
that
unto
other
death.
guy, that other dude
Dumb unto death.
who ain't got no heritage connection whatsoever.
Yep.
Gonna try to teach somebody else someone's heritage. I'd be like, Cracker Jack, are you crazy? Come on with that. But you know, he knew how I was gonna get, so he wanted to run away anyway. But I said, no running. He brought you in the group to be his backup. Guess what? Back that ass up.
But he made it clear that you know he called David his son, King David his son.
Called David his son. He's called Israel his son. We all his son. This is what knuckleheads got to get through their head. All right, they got to get it through their head. Israel is the son. Israel is the people. Israel is the son. That's what they got to get.
Yeah, but the thing is that how many times did the Most High say, "I will give my glory to no one else"? He said that in Jeremiah. He said that in Ezekiel, didn't he? He said that in so many places he will give his glory to no one else.
Correct. Exactly correct. Let me finish. I know it seems a little long. Time is ticking, and we got Mo the hit. Let me finish this up because this particular thing here is like that. Because I want to read a great psalm, I should say, right after this. That's pertaining to this too. Because a lot of these bent for Tom heads don't get it. You're not gonna be able to fit that fish in this particular situation. All right. Verse 18. O Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, our fathers, keep this forever in the imagination of the thoughts of the hearts of thy people, and prepare their heart unto thee. And give unto Solomon, all right? I'm going to say it again. And give unto Solomon, my son, a perfect heart to keep thy commandments, thy testimonies, and thy statutes, and to do all the things, and to build the palace for which I have made provision. Is that hard to figure that one out? Is that telling you right from the bat how Solomon is going to be the one to be the fulfillment? Is that too hard? It's not at all right? In fact, let's watch how this works. And David said to all the congregation, that means the congregation even know this. Now, just imagine if these two clowns was in that congregation, they would have still turned around and said, no. Nathan was talking to David, and he was talking about building the eternal. Dude, sit down. Shut the hell up. All right. And David said to all the congregation, now bless the Lord your God. And all the congregation bless the Lord God of their fathers, and bow down their heads and worship the Lord and the king. Obviously, David is the king. And they sacrifices unto the Lord, and offered burnt offerings unto the Lord on the morrow after that day, even 1,000 bullocks, 1,000 rams, and 1,000 lambs, in their drink offerings and sacrifices in abundance for all of who? All of Israel. That's dynamic. That's simple. Let me continue. And did eat and drink before the Lord on that day with great gladness. And they made Solomon the son of David king the second time, and anointed him unto the Lord to be the chief governor, and Zadok to be priest. All right. Then Solomon sat on the throne of the Lord as king instead of David and his father, and prospered, and all Israel obeyed him. And all the princes and the mighty men and all the sons likewise of King David submitted themselves unto Solomon the king. And the Lord magnified Solomon exceedingly in the sight of all Israel, and bestowed upon him such royal majesty as not been on any king before him in Israel. Because David, the son of of Jesse reigned over all Israel. Right, and the time that he reigned over all Israel was 40 years, and 7 years reigned he in Hebron, and 3 years reigned he in Jerusalem. Now, didn't these two dudes had a nerve to tell you about? There's two Israels, there's two Jerusalems, there's two. I should say, I couldn't take more than two of them. There was bums, right? And he died, right? And he died. He died, and in a good old age, full of days, riches, and honor, and Solomon his son reigned in his stead. What's so hard about that? Solomon was his son, right? He reigned in his stead. Shows that goes with the fulfillment that's been prophesied, which this was all centered on Nathan telling David that when he was like at the age to even reiterate this to the people and to Solomon itself. So it wasn't hard. It was not hard. Right? Not hard at all. Now the acts of David the king, first and last, behold, they are written in the book of Samuel the seer, and in the book of Nathan the prophet, in the book of Gad the seer. Right? With all his reign and his might, in the times that went over him and over all Israel and over the kingdom of the countries. Now, before we go to Psalm 89, I'm gonna let Anthony come and say a few words. Because I'm sure he's ready to tear these clowns into two, even though they didn't show up. You know what I'm saying? Even though they didn't show up. Well, the one bird off the bat said he wasn't gonna do it. You said don't expect it. I knew that.
And another thing I want to bring up is what was it? Genesis 17?
Mm-hmm.
When they broke up Sarah and try to compare that.
Oh my!
To Mary.
Say this. How these fools? What these fools say? Say it.
Like he really tried to compare Genesis I think Genesis 17 to Mary, and even the old dude that like he brung apart, like brung in the group disagreed with him.
Well, the guy in the group probably was saying to himself, "Man, why you put me in this stuff for, man? These black people gonna see I'm not the same color as them. They gonna tear my ass apart." That's why I kind of felt sorry for him, because he was being all nice to me, apologizing, dude.
Because listen, all right, he said this, right? He said this all right, Bone. He said, all right, are you going to tell me what Genesis 17 verse 15 and 16 say in the scripture, or whatever version of the scripture you read? Right. So I told him the difference. I told him I said the difference is that guess what? Because I told, all right, listen, he told me I lied about the Torah. What's the difference, right? Because when he brought up Genesis 17, chapter 17, verse 15 and 16, I said the difference is that Sarah was barren. She couldn't have children. And the Most High made her unbarren so she could have children. Mary, on the other hand, was capable of having children, but some magic, some magic fairy just came and got her pregnant, because I'm not gonna say the Most High.
Nah, of course not. You can't say the Most High. You can't say none of his angels. You can't say none of it. It ain't true anyway.
Moloch.
She might have been humping around with all them damn funny ass Romans. You never know.
Yep.
and then I went to ask him. So I asked him, So you saying Mary couldn't have children like Sarah is what you saying because you saw? 'Cause I said you sounded real slow because I'm like, and we read the whole chapter, the whole chapter of Genesis 17, right? Then we will, then we will see that the dude's a liar. Then he goes to say, why did the Most High? He basically saying, why did the Most High just plant His holy seed in Sarah when we know that's a lie? And this the Reuben dude that's following the convert.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I told you the guy is as stupid as he look. You know, and I'm not trying to really be
Like,
funny anymore. He's
like he
after a
said, the
while when you
Most
start looking
High.
stupid, saying stupid
Hey,
shit, you need to sit down. Somebody tell you,
But
sit down.
but true,
stupid
really,
is stupid do.
but but true, really think about what he just said. He said the Most High
Mm-hmm.
planted His holy seed in Sarah. When I'm sitting here scratching my head, I was like, the Most High just made it to where she can have children. Abraham is the one who planted the seed because he's the one who having sex with her.
Right.
Oh man! And then his buddy is saying, not seeing that. Please post the
Yo,
script
yeah, I seen
that
that.
you
I
see
seen that.
as
He
true.
was trying. He was trying to say, man, I don't know what the hell you talking about. I'm like, I ain't with this one.
Like,
Yeah, but,
like it's a shame. Even the white boy was like,
yeah, but how
"What
many
is
shows have we done
smoking?"
with contradictions? How many contradictions are there in the new trash? I mean, like loads, like over 300
Oh man,
contradictions, and
Mm-hmm.
we went through some of them. So many contradictions.
and
Like
then,
John said this, and Matthew said this,
yeah,
and whatever.
and,
It was just
and check this, and the white boy really threw him under the bus, even though it was a question for everybody in the group. Anybody could have answered this question, right? He
Mhm.
really threw him under the bus because the white boy said, "Does the sea go by the woman or the man according to Torah?" Right?
Uh-huh.
Even though that wasn't directed towards Reuben, right?
Mm-hmm.
It still puts him on the fire and makes him look stupid, makes him look ridiculous.
Stupid is what stupid do.
Stupid do.
Like
Yep.
it really do. So it's like I'm just sitting here reading this. I'm like, dang, he really just threw this man up under the bus because I replied. I said, good question. I know this one. I didn't answer it. I just said I knew it because I just find it funny. It's like, dang, how you throw your man's under the bus like that?
Uh, did you see his legs roll from under the wheels? Damn, you killed him. What's wrong with you?
Well,
Oh gosh.
before I put up Psalms 89, I'm gonna put up. I didn't want to do it. I'm gonna put up the actual Davidic Covenant, 2 Samuel chapter 7. I'm not gonna read the whole thing either. This is what I'm not gonna do. You know, if people don't get it by now, they ain't gonna never get it. You know what I mean? But for those who may not have seen this, I'll put it up there. All right. And I'm gonna do it quickly, fast, break it down fast. Nothing too particular on it. I mean, I'm gonna stop at the main meat where I call bozos, they get confused. It had the nerve to say that we're confused. We're not confused, dude. You're confused. I think he was talking to a female on there, and she even said, she says it's self-explanatory. What it actually says, what you're reading, is what it is. And he didn't want to conversate anymore because he felt small. And he should. All right. And it came to pass when the king sat in his house. All right. And the Lord had given him rest around about from all his enemies. That the king said unto Nathan the prophet, see now, I dwell in the house of cedar, but the ark of God, which, didn't we explain that earlier? The ark of God, which dwelleth within curtains, obviously kept the ark of the covenant, which housed anything detailed towards the Most High, considering the commandments and some of the, what you call, the ancient relics stored in that ark of covenant, right? It's not hard. And Nathan said to the king, go do all that is in thine heart, for the Lord is with thee. And the Most High is with him. Whatever you do, you choose to do, he's with you. And it came to pass that night that the word of the Lord, which is the Most High, came unto Nathan, saying, go and tell my servant David. I mean, we all agree, David, this is David's covenant. Even they agree with that, which is kind of odd. I would think that they wouldn't agree with it when they come up with that stupid statement. But anyway, thus said the Lord, shall thy build me in house for me to do what? Dwell in, correct? The language is clear. For me to dwell in. So, if he's telling David to go do this, right? Or etc., right? Wouldn't it make sense that David would build that house if it was particular that something that was like he could do at that time, build that house at that time for him to dwell in? And just the same, like any of the kings that come thereafter, if there were no more Ark of the Covenant or particular something that the Most High could say that he can dwell in, wouldn't they be building it just the same? It's not hard, right? It's easy. That's why there's a question mark for you to think. Use your noggin. The brains in your head is not just for sitting, all right? For me, a house to dwell in. It means it's at the present time, present moment. Don't say, well, in the future, this is going to be somebody going to build a house for me to dwell in the future. Let's talk about present. Am I correct? It's in the language. It's in the question mark. Whereas I have not dwelt in any house since the time that I brought up the children of Israel out of Egypt, even to this day, but I have walked in a tent in a tabernacle. It was housed in the Ark of the Covenant. And the brothers, what did they do? When they walked, they carried it, all right? And in the tabernacle, where we have feast at that time, tabernacle, all right? In all places wherein I have walked with all the children of Israel, spake I a word with any of the tribes of Israel, whom I commanded to feed my people Israel, saying, why build ye not me in the house of cedar? Now therefore, so shalt thou say unto my servant, thus said the Lord of hosts, language, I took thee from the sheepcote, from following the sheep, to be ruler over my people, over Israel. And I was with thee whatsoever thy witness, and have cut off all thy enemies out of thy sight, and have made thee a great name, like unto the name of the great men that are in the earth. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and I will plant them in that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more, neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them any more as before time. And as since this time that I commanded judges to be over my people Israel, I have caused thee to rest from all thy enemies. Also the Lord telleth thee that he will make thee in house. Can I say this again? Can I repeat that now? We know about the Most High's dwelling place. Now let's look at the gift. Can we see this in that verse?
Yep.
Is it clear? I'm gonna read it again, verse 11. And as since the time that I commanded judges to be over my people Israel, and have caused thee to rest from all thine enemies. Also, that key word, also, addition to what I already asked for, right? Addition, right? Add to, correct? Also, the Lord tells thee that he will make thee in house. Make thee in house. Make thee in house. House of David.
Yeah.
House of Solomon. Should I keep going? Is that hard?
Nope, it's not
But
hard at
also,
all.
Not hard at all. But the language is so clear that they so wrapped up trying to fit that fish in that They don't see none of that. See, that fish is a
Yeah, but
distraction.
the thing
That
is as
fish
well
is
is that
not
you
doing
said we read
anybody any
it.
good.
See, he's made it clear that Israel he is his people, but he also made it from all thine enemies. So does he love everybody?
He doesn't
Two
love
things,
everybody. He
two important
doesn't.
points.
He doesn't have any bearing to this conversation either. But no, he does not. All right. Let me finish. Let me finish. All right. This is the key and meat that the twist comes in. All right. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish whose kingdom?
His kingdom.
It says his
I.
kingdom. I will establish his kingdom. I will establish your seed's kingdom. I will establish, let's name some. Let's say Solomon. I will establish Solomon's kingdom, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I will establish, let's jump. Jump, forget all the other kings. Let's go to Hezekiah. I will establish his kingdom, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just keep on jumping around. Let's keep on jumping around. Let's go to Josiah. I will establish his kingdom, correct?
Correct.
Hmm?
Correct.
Now, he shall build an house for my name, just like what did he say for David to do, right?
Yep.
What is he going to do? He shall build a house for my name, a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. That means that he's going to do this continuously, generation to generation to generation to generation. Now, does that say, well, that's supposed to just continue?
And
And we
read verse
supposed to,
12 one more time, please.
all right. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom.
All right. Hold it right there. Right? Bowels, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we know when we look up the word bowels, right, we know that we're going to get intestines and all the other stuff, but there's another meaning,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's another meaning, and another meaning, right? And the on the other meaning, it says this: the deepest inner parts of areas of something. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the scripture saying that this person will come from what the deepest inner parts or areas of something. You know, but you know what I'm saying, and that key word what seed, right? It said I will set up thy seed after thee. You know what I'm saying? So and I asked him, all right, when did y'all New Testament Messiah came from the direct body of David, right?
Good question.
And they start going down. They try to go down lineage or whatever. I'm like, no. Y'all not understanding what I'm
Bowels.
saying. When did he come from the direct body? The direct body.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't
Mm-hmm.
say. I didn't mention anything about lineage or nothing. I said body from David.
Correct.
Direct
And
body.
I
They
think
breaking everybody else, but still they breaking up everybody else. They trying to break up this person, that person. I'm like, no, you're missing the point.
mm-hmm.
When he came from the direct body of David, and I gave them an example. I was like, I have two
What a skipping
kids,
it.
right? That comes from
Mm-hmm.
what? That comes
My
from
bowels.
my direct body. Like my
Correct.
father, I come from my father's. I come from his body.
Correct.
His his direct body.
That's right.
My
uh,
father got
uh,
grandkids, right?
uh,
Mm-hmm.
They don't come from his
uh,
direct body. They come from
that's
his
right.
lineage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They still his seed up in the way, but they is not his direct seed. And the
That's
scripture
right.
made this very. I'm like, man, the scriptures. It doesn't matter what translation you read. The
So was he
scriptures
from
made
Joseph?
this evident
Was he?
that this person
Was he
was,
from Joseph?
huh?
Was he from Joseph? Like, was he a direct seed from Joseph?
The
Yes or no?
problem, the problem, the problem, the problem is,
Nah.
the problem is, if and if he listen, the problem, even if he was directly from Joseph, right, that would only establish that he's Joseph's son. That does not
Yeah.
establish no connection whatsoever. See, what Anthony is trying to explain, and I'm going to explain it too, how kingdom shit work with our people was specific. Like he was saying, you have something like I got 3 boys, right? And say up to me, I choose, obviously it would be my oldest if I was doing it in the right manner. And on my death, I would appoint my oldest to be the one to take my place.
Yeah.
All the others is princes, right? Not that those couldn't be the king if I chose them, but I chose my oldest son. Now my oldest son becomes the king, right?
Yeah.
He has 3 daughters, right? Right? 3 daughters, right? That ends that because there can't be no one that's going to come from their direct seat, right? But say he has a son for some strange reason. Guess what? That's his vows. Not like my cousin vows, not my uncle's vow. Gotta be in that direct manner. See, this is the power of the moment.
Exactly.
This is what
Yeah,
Exactly.
and that's what I was asking. I was like, I'm sitting there explaining to him. I was like, all right, if I had a son, right, and the scriptures was talking about my pops, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody in their right mind would say, "Oh man, it's talking about your son right here." No, it's talking about it. It will be talking about the next person up in line that could be a king,
That's right.
which is the son. So since we know that that this right here is talking about David, right? So we know this talking about David,
He
and we
claimed.
know who was the king right after David,
His son.
Well, see,
Solomon,
but
right? And we know
let me say this though,
Solomon came from
Anthony.
what the direct body of David, but they'll sit there and say, "Nah, man, it's Christ." How?
Yeah,
Nah,
exactly. But
nah,
let
nah.
me make this point though, right? No way, I agree with you. But the thing is that look, so if he's not come from Joseph, right, and usually the descent or like the heritage comes from the father, right? Am I right
Yeah.
or wrong? Right? So
You are right
it's
with
not
that, but
from Joseph,
that still
right?
wouldn't even connect. That still wouldn't even connect
Yeah,
you to
but
David.
hold on. I'm going somewhere with this, right?
Mhm.
So it's not from Joseph, right? Mary all of a sudden conceived, right? So, and we don't know who the father is. Usually in society, what do you call that? The boy's a bastard. So Jesus was a bastard. I'm sorry,
Pretty
he
much.
was. We don't know who the father was, right? And his
Yeah.
claim was his descent, right, from David. So it was there a relationship there? Like as in was the father or a male impregnated Mary to make it from the line of David, which he claimed? We know it wasn't because Joseph himself said, oh, he said he's gonna go about and do his father's work. And the
Mhm.
guy looked at him funny. And so it's not his father, like David's not his father, right? Not David, sorry. Yeah, David's not his father. Joseph is not his father. So he's a bastard. Simple as
That is
that.
that
Yeah.
is
He's a
that
bastard.
is correct,
And
and that
and
that
and,
further deteriorates their claim, whether they be
and this what
Christian or whatever. It deteriorates it to the bottom of the barrel. That there is not
I,
going to be able to fit it. It's
and I know
impossible
this a
to fit.
little I know this a little I'll talk matter of fact I'm gonna save it until we finish through, but that's how I was saying, but like we know like since the seed that came after David that came from his body, we know it was Solomon, but these fools that they sit there and try to say that, oh, no, it's not. And then one of them talk, so was sit there trying to tell me, oh, Mary and Joseph had sex, and I'm like, how your
Jeez, man.
book don't even support
Yeah.
that claim? right? And then they were trying to say, well, she's a young maiden, a young woman, or whatever. All you got to do is just look up the Hebrew word for virgin, virgin. But you gotta look at the Greek first. First of all, look for? Why would I change a Greek word to Hebrew if the New Testament was written in Greek, right? I'm only gonna look up Greek words pertaining to it. Because why would I try to look up Hebrew words when it's not gonna fit?
Ain't gonna fit.
It's not gonna fit. And I'm sitting there trying to tell the dude, I'm like, I was trying to tell him, I'm like, if you come to my school and you use that same logic, all my professors, is gonna laugh in your face. It's gonna make you. It's gonna make you feel like you're the dumbest person on this planet.
Well, now,
Like, come on now. I'm like,
you gotta pause on that one. You gotta pause on that one.
like,
The
you know what I'm
statements that
saying?
these clowns was making made them the dumbest ones on this planet.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I'm telling him, I'm like, man, I'm up in school, man. My professors are distinguished scholars. You know what I'm saying? Like when all the scholars get together and they trying to figure X, Y, and Z out. My professors are in the conversation. They're up in they are up in the room. So like I'm getting top of the line education from these people that sit in the room with these other guys, these other distinguished scholars that you know what I'm saying that you know that basically, you know, whether they agree or disagree or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying, they are part of it. So I'm basically getting all of it.
Yep, you get
All of
everything.
it.
Mhm.
I'm basically getting all the information that they get. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? So it's a lot of things that you know what I'm saying, you could go ahead, you could say X, Y, and Z, it don't make you right. Because when you get in front of people that knows what they talking about, you're gonna be the laughing stock. You're gonna be the laughing stock. That means you're gonna have to go around other people that probably don't know nothing. Like you got he got his little pick me pick me pet.
Pick me pet.
Follow him around.
Pick me pet. Well, let me finish. Let me finish this out because we basically
Um
really sharpening up knives and swords for no reason because these two dudes is about as bright as a busted bulb. Let me finish. From the key thing that I left it was 13, but I'm gonna go to 14 and 17, and this is where they come at it again. All right. I will be his father. All right. Well, let's go back to 13. He shall build an house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. I will be his father. I will be his father. Not I am his father already, but I will be his father. You know, JC, in order to fit from the New Testament logic, would have been there at the beginning as the son, right? Not at this time being established as the son. No logic there. But they don't say that because all they see is fish. All right. I will be his father and he shall be my son. This is a mutual agreement. Mutual. Because you know what? When I'm passing on the torch to my son, I'm giving him everything that I have to go under. Right? Let's shuffle it back a little bit. Now, King Saul was a king at the time frame before David, right? We can all agree with that, correct?
yes, sir.
Yeah,
Now,
correct.
King Saul was not the father of David, correct?
Yup.
All right. Now, Moses made a distinct change in that. He chose David to take that position of, how you should say, rulership over his people. So he made David. So obviously, he chose him from the very choices of all David's brothers and et cetera, and even over all different people of Israel. So you ain't gonna just pick Israel because we all family, right? We all family as far as Israel, right? We all related, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So we can't turn around and like the New Testament guys and say, well, Mary or Joseph or however it is, Zechariah. Or, you gotta have a direct connection to David's vows. And this is where let's go. All right. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, if he commit bad choices, if he commit sin, all right, I will chasten him. I will chasten him. I will chasten him with the rod of men and with the stripes of the children of men. Two separate meanings, but I'll explain that later. But my mercy, right, shall not depart away from him as I took it from Saul, whom I put away before thee. In other words, he took, obviously, spirit and everything away from Saul, right? He did that. That's why he described it with the same situation with Saul. As I took it from Saul, as I took my mercy away from Saul, whom I put away before thee. All right. In thine house and thy kingdom shall be established forever before thee. Thy throne shall be established forever. Who's he referring to? Whose house? Whose kingdom? Whose throne? David's throne. This is what they don't get. That does not change. That stays the same throughout generations. And it's not going to change in the future. In fact, we can pull up a future prophecy and it puts David back where he's supposed to be, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. But when are they going to go there? According to all these words and according to all this vision, so did Nathan speak unto David. Now, these clowns, and I got to say that, because they had to turn around and had the nerve to say that. What I teach is like code, but I'm teaching exactly what the scriptures say without any twist to it, any add-ons or anything. I'm directly word for word. Don't need to interpret it, right? Don't need to go to know somebody. Oh, can you interpret this for me? I don't need to do that. It's plain and simple. And I'm using their shit, King James. I can use another thing. It's going to say the same thing, all right? Because they really cannot twist this to be anything else anyway, because it doesn't go with the scriptures that follow. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't go at all with the theory that follows. But they got the nerve to turn around and say, no, this is talking about an eternal kingdom, an internal throne, an internal situation. Where do you read in anywhere in one of those verses that this is eternal? It might be eternal like forever, eternal like eternity, eternal that way, but it's still David's throne, correct?
Well,
Yep.
But it doesn't say that. What did the guy say? Let's talk about someone else. Someone else. But guess what? How can it talk about someone else if they got to come out of David's house? You know what I'm saying?
because they wanted to be somebody else so bad.
I really want to tell these, and I'm gonna call them all Christians. I don't give a shit because they all Christians, regardless. If they believe in a Messiah as the New Testament talks about, whether it be the name of JC, Jesus, or Yahweh shit, or Yahweh Sharali, or whatever they want to say, whatever they want to say, Yahusha, and all that stuff like that. They want to say, no matter how they want to look at it, you're Christians. You're simply Christians, or either you're Hebrew Christians in denial that you Christians. When you say anything about that Christ of the New Testament, you're a Christian.
And check this though, they already do sitting on the phone with me talking about, oh, you sitting there, you got your Christian views, this, that, and the third, right? So I let them ramble on. Just for him, as we continue the conversation, just for him and the other dude to say, oh, the Most High came up in the flesh, and I was like, really?
It
And
makes
y'all
no
calling me a
sense.
Christian? And y'all sitting here calling me a Christian, and y'all believe that the Most High came in the flesh?
It makes no
Y'all
sense at
believe
all.
that the Most High came up in the flesh, but they sitting there calling me a Christian. And I'm just
Yeah, but
like,
hold on,
I'm just like,
hold on.
wow.
Yeah, but hold on, Ant. How can they say the Most High? This makes no sense. This is going back into the contradictions. How can they say the Most High came in the flesh when the cloud opens and says, "This is my son, who I am well pleased with"? Right? So how does that make any sense? My
Hey,
son is a seed, my seed. So how could my seed be me and
you know
God
what
in
I
the flesh?
asked him? So I was saying, so you telling me that the Most High came down here in the flesh, got hung on the cross, and then cried to himself saying, why have I forsaken myself?
Which makes no sense.
But
These people are clowns.
the Most High has to come out of the bowels of David for that to even make sense, to even fit. Oh
Doesn't
God,
make any
these
sense.
guys are idiots. Let me read this Psalm 89, and then y'all can clown these dudes all night. Let me read this one because I want to get this one out here. It's important. All right, Psalms 89. Meshiel of Ethan the Esrahite. I will sing of the mercies of the Lord forever with my mouth, and I will make known thy faithfulness to all generations. Uh, Meshiel of Ethan the Esrahite was a simple player for David's, would you say, musicians group or his band? How you would say it? It would be his band. He was a simple player. All right, just let everybody know. For I have said, mercy shall be built up forever. This is singing about that song, that Second Samuel 17. It's just basically just a song. Now, thy faithfulness shall thou establish in the very heavens. I have made a covenant with my chosen. I have sworn unto David my servant. That's what it's telling you is the Davidic Covenant. Thy seed will I establish forever and build up thy throne to all generations. This is what he has sworn to David, and et cetera, et cetera. And to keep with it, we don't even got to go no further, but just let it know that this is how it works here. When you
Yeah.
know how to understand and read scripture and comprehend it without trying to fit in something that ain't. All right. Verse 5. Verse 5. In the heavens shall praise thy wonders, O Lord, thy faithfulness also in the congregation of the saints. That means it's going all the way up there. All right. For who in heaven can be compared unto the Lord? Question mark. I wish it would have said in the heavens who could be compared unto the Lord's with an S. That means there's more than one. But this is not that type of party, right? It's not a Talmud party thing going on. All right. Who among the sons of the mighty? You see that right there, though? It gives you a denotation. Who among the sons, plural, right, of the mighty can be likened unto the Most High? Question mark. That hold on. Let's say that if JC could be one of those sons, right? You know what? That nigga or that cracker can't even be likened unto the Most High. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
because
in the
he's not
New
as great as
Testament,
the
it's
Most High.
opposite, though, right? That's why,
He could never be as great as the Most High.
correct. That's why they don't really want to deal with, say they call me a coat because I'm speaking the truth. Nah, I don't play that bullshit. I will shut that crap down with just what it say. Plain in view, what it say. Nothing else. No add on. And I know a lot of camps hate me for that, but I love it. Bring it. Just because y'all teach what y'all teach, I teach what I teach. All right. God is greatly to be feared in the assembly of the saints, and to be had in reverence for all of them that are about him. O Lord, God of hosts, who is strong, Lord, like unto thee, question mark, or to thy faithfulness round about thee, question mark. This is like praise, 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 galore, galore. By the cymbal player, by the cymbal player. All right. Thou rulest the raging of the sea, when the waves therefore or thereof arise, thou stillest them. You can do that, and you can do this. You can do that, and you can do this. Thou hast broken Rahab in pieces as one that is slain. Thou hast scattered thine enemies with the strong arm, with his own arm. Do you hear that word? With thy strong arm, with his own arm. Not an arm that's just out there dangling, like one would be dangling from a cat with a carrot. It's his own physical arm. Not no connection with it. Oh, let's make this arm Jesus. Let's make this arm, etc. It's his own arm, his own physical arm. But they'll twist that later on too, and they have tried it. All right. The heavens are thine, the earth also is thine. As for the world and the fullness thereof, thou hast founded them. In other words, he's saying this is all everything, because he's the creator, he's the almighty. He created all of this. This is all his. And no doubt about that. When we should at the same time, if we can turn around and say, well, he made David the king of over the earth and etc. etc. But isn't the Most High over David? So isn't this still the Most High's kingdom? It's not hard to figure that out. It still is his, yes. But if he's giving it, or he's choosing to do something, that's what he chooses. Am I correct? I mean, it's not hard, because check this out. The north and the south, thou hast created them. Tabor and Hermon shall rejoice in my name. Thou hast a mighty arm. Strong is thy hand, and high is thy right hand. All right. Justice and judgment are the habitation of thy throne. Mercy and truth shall go before thy face. Blessed is the people that know the joyful sound. They shall walk, O Lord, in the light of thy countenance. In other words, we need to walk, look proud, be like happy, not like the way they want to turn around and throw at us. Oh, you pride, so proud. Yes. Solomon says something about that, but this is also some good in that too. All right. All right. In thy name shall they rejoice all the day, and in the righteousness shall they be exalted. For thou art the glory of their strength. In thy favor, our horn shall be exalted. Our horn, our salvation is. Who's our salvation? The Most High. And there's scriptures that turn around and tell you, he is the salvation, and he alone. No sidekicks, no Robins with Batman, no none of those, superheroes that have sidekicks.
No Joker, no Harley Quinn.
None of that.
That's
We
it.
call it the Lone Ranger and Tonto, Kimasabi. None of that stuff. Just straight up. All right? Straight up. For thou art thy glory of their strength, in thy favor our horn shall be exalted. For the Lord is our defense. Who is our defense? The Most High is our defense, and the Holy One of Israel is our King. Guess what? They can see that and say, well, in the Holy One, it's got to be talking about his son. I have to say quiet for a second, because they will turn around and say that, right? You big dummy, Holy One, Christ, anointed, appointed, and damn, they got to realize, if we supposed to be a consecrated people, sanctified people, we are what? Holy too. But this one in particular, the King, anointed King, Holy One of Israel is our King. Then thou spakest in vision to the Holy One and saidst, I have laid help upon one that is mighty. I have exalted one chosen out of the people. Did he not choose who he's supposed to choose? Because in the next verse, it says, I have found David. I'm going to say it again. I have found David, my servant, with my holy oil have I anointed him. Pride goes before destruction. These people are so proud to keep putting that fish in that they don't realize they are
The fish.
right.
A fish called Wanda.
I'm gonna read that again, and then I'm gonna turn it over because I don't have to go that much more longer. It says, "I have found David, my servant, with my holy oil." He found David with his holy oil, right? Have I anointed him, with whom my hand shall be established. My arm also shall strengthen him. The enemy shall not exact upon him, nor the son of wickedness afflict him. Good grief. How much more do we need to go on with this? Huh?
You really have the first 4 verses.
All right. let me try to fast track this. Also, I will make him my firstborn higher than the kings of the earth. All right. He shall cry unto me, "Thou art my father, my God, in the rock of my salvation." That's just what's strange that I read that the opposite way, but on purpose. You notice that was stolen. These thieves, stop thief. They stole that, put that in the New Testament, right? Twisted that, right? Shit was about David. About David. All right? Oh, man. And it's tell you that. Also, I will make him my firstborn higher than the kings of the earth. That's telling you right there that he is modifying David to the point where David is becoming something bigger than what we look at it from our fleshly mindsets. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
He turning David into something divine. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I safely say that?
Yep.
Can I turn around and say, I can almost turn around and say, you know what? They're making David. Whoa. But, they'll never get that. They'll never get there. My mercy will I keep for him forevermore in my covenant. In my covenant, right? Shall stand fast with him. His seed is the problem again. JC don't have no seed. Never did. Never would. Did he have a girlfriend? Because, the word I was trying to figure out, he was hanging around with a bunch of these dudes all the time. JC might have been a little fruity. Am I correct?
Yep.
Put his finger in people's mouths.
But anyway, my mercy will I keep for him forevermore, and my covenant shall stand fast with him. His seed also will I make to endure forever in his throne as the days of heaven. Man, that is a, divine lock. I hope that those that see this tear up their Bibles, start from scratch. Just get the Torah part. Just get the Torah. Get the first 5 books and stick with that. Don't even read anything else. Read the 5 books. When they master them 5 books, then they can move on to 1st, 2nd, Samuel, Judges, and Chronicles, and Kings, and all that. Then they can say that they got it. Because right now they don't got it. All right. Now let me finish. If his children forsake my law, see, Jesus' such children has to be the ones that will fit this. But he don't have no children. They ain't been written to men with no kids. He ain't had no woman, and et cetera, to have no kids. The nigga died. All right. If his children forsake my law and walk not in my judgment, if they break my statutes and keep not my commandments, then will I visit their transgression. You notice that word says their transgression. This is telling you the language when I said that how that mercy that departed from Solomon also did not depart from Solomon. He took it out on the splitting of the kingdom, and I showed him with scripture that when the kingdom split, what happened to the house of Ephraim, so-called house of Israel? Did they not go into captivity? Did they not get punished? Is that hard?
Yep.
I mean, then will I visit their transgression with the rod, and their iniquity with stripes. We can go to Isaiah 53, and we can know that is talking about Israel. Obviously, when it was talking about Hezekiah direct, for Israel direct, this is the same language. Am I correct? See, I'm taking the cat now. I'm just slithering the skin off the cat now. I'm taking a little bit of the hair, one piece at a time, and just tearing them apart. Because they should have showed up to defend themselves. Nevertheless, my loving kindness will I not utterly take from him. That's why divine balance comes in. He still left his seed. And out of that split, did not Solomon still his seed was left? Oh my God, they don't get this. All right. Nevertheless, my loving kindness will I not utterly take from him, nor suffer my faithfulness to fail. My covenant will I not break, nor alter the thing that is gone out of my lips. This is a long song too. I really don't have to read the whole thing, and I'm not. I'm gonna save some for the audience to read for themselves. Because pretty much there ain't nothing that gonna be able to justify their thoughts. These two clowns without makeup. But y'all can have it for the rest of the night. I'm done. I'm done.
But all right, this is what I want to address while we still recording. All right, so I'm talking to the heathen, right? So I'm talking to the heathen dude, right? And and you know what blew his whole like Christ thing, Christ New Testament out the water with him when he told me that Joseph was from the line of David and Mary was from was a Levite, right? So all right, so what popped into my head? You saying that she was a Levite, so historically speaking, the Mary that was documented in history that was a Levite, which you can get the books of Josephus and also the other book that he wrote going into details about this historical Mary, right? And a book on War of the Jews, right?
Mm-hmm.
The baby that she had, right, when reading in parallel of the New Testament, right, is the same baby that so-called Christ was supposed to be off based off of, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I'm saying, with the same logic that he's using, right? If he's claiming that she's that Levite, that means, yeah, guess what? Your so-called JC never made it to adulthood. because the historical Mary took, sacrificed, cooked, and ate her baby, and
What?
fed half of her child to the Romans.
And you read all of this in that Josephus book, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, Babylonian convert Josephus, even though he was from a Flavian. Well, go ahead.
Well, Josephus he was adopted into the Flavian dynasty because Josephus was a traitor.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? He was a traitor, but this guy is saying that
Ancient bag of shit.
Mary is a Levite. All right, you saying that automatically this automatically disqualify your so-called anti-Messiah because now now what we are looking at now is that, guess what? She sacrificed her baby. She ate half of it and fed the other half to the Romans.
Bon
Had the
appetit.
Romans head all screwed up because they was like, They sitting there like they couldn't believe their eyes, and she only did that to try to fulfill the one of the curses for Deuteronomy up in Deuteronomy 28 when it said that you should eat the fruit from your bodies. And anybody with a brain that studies, you know what I'm saying, the Torah understands that all right, fruit, all right, the scripture said, oh, you should eat the fruit of your own body, all right, boom. That's talking about cannibalism.
Cannibalism is correct.
You know what I'm
Jeez,
saying? Like,
that's heavy,
but
man.
but you know what I'm saying? He was so busy talking and trying to be right and don't and like it didn't even realize or even dawned on them that like, dude, everything that you saying can be used. It can literally be used against you. It's just that every time that I address one thing, he jumps to another. Then I gotta address that. Then he gonna try to jump back to what he originally said to try to, you know what I'm saying, to try to trip me up in my words. And that's what a lot of these New Testament believers do. They trying to trip you up in your words. They try to trip you up in your words by jumping to one subject to a next subject. Man, stay on subject because if what you saying is true, you won't have to jump. You won't have to jump at all. I even allow I even allow you to deflect a little bit just to catch yourself. Just to catch yourself. Because we all deflect from time to time, but like you know what I'm saying, like it's a difference between you deflecting to the like, all right, boom, okay, you know what I'm saying, then let me take a step back just so I don't overstep nothing or say something that's gonna later come and bite me in the butt. You know what I'm saying? That's okay. You know what I'm saying? You're just covering your bases, but when you're just doing it, so oh, all right, I'm gonna lead them off this trail to another trail to see can I get them here because I know if I could get them here, then I could go back and I'm like, nah, it don't work like that.
No.
Because I sit there and I told them I like, hey, I'm asking you direct questions. Everything that you ask me, I answer, but you have yet to answer any of my questions. And then on top of that, when I ask my questions, you wanna try to cut me off. You wanna try to I'm older than you, so I got years. I'm like, man, that don't mean nothing. The Most High made a child a king over a whole nation,
That's right.
a child.
Mm-hmm.
So what do your age have to do with anything? Because you see that he gonna post in the group like, oh, you supposed to honor your elders. No, you supposed to honor your parents.
That's right.
You supposed to honor your parents. And I'm like, why would I honor a heathen?
I wouldn't.
Whether you my elder or not, why would I honor a heathen?
Well, he's
When
damn sure. He damn sure honor him. Look at him sitting side by side with him. A fake Jew converted to be a Jew, and he is a actual Hebrew converted himself to that fake Jew. What kind of sick shit is that?
and then and then on top of that, they sitting there. He's sitting there picking and choosing what part of the New Testament is true and what is fake. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, if you gotta pick and choose what is true, what is fake, throw the whole book away. Because what you might think that all right, uh, this is fake, that's fake or whatever. Oh, this is true. That right there in itself can be fake or whatever. I was like, man, y'all worshiping a bunch of Romans, man. I like all it is just a bunch of stories basically telling how the Romans won the war. And
Mhm.
then when I brought up typology, right? When I brought up how they use typology and everything, he had nothing to say. He was just la 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 la. I was like, come on, man, you don't even know what typology is. You don't even know how to use typology to to basically pacify the people because the people was getting riled up against Rome, and they needed a way to pacify the people because they know that uh that the so-called coming Messiah was supposed to do what? Be a warrior, not a pacifist.
Messiah would be just like the apparently when you say Messiah, we're gonna play their game. That Messiah would be just like David, just like David. Remember, I said that David has become something special, divine. They would be just like David, like David. And you know, David, he was a battle axe. When that little boy, even as a child, was one of the ones you want to mess with. Straight up.
And check this, and then he mentioned, oh, and you know he's the coming prince or whatever. So I asked him, did he make a sacrifice for himself and the people? And he talking about why would he sacrifice himself? And I was like, and I'm like, you hearing exactly what I'm saying. I understand I might be from the south and I might have an accent or the way I speak might be kind of rugged and be like, all right, what the hell he talking about? But I said it very slow. I'm like, did your NT Messiah? I said just like this, make a sacrifice for himself and for the people. I'm like, why? Why would he sacrifice this, that, and the third? And I was like, see, you over here trying to tell somebody that they wrong about the scriptures, right? And you don't even know what I'm referring to. He's sitting there asking me, oh, what are you referring to? What are you referring to? And I was like, didn't you come from a Jewish background? You should already know. You should already know what I'm talking about. Because couldn't answer me at all. So so I told him go read Ezekiel 45 verse 22 about the coming prince. But because Ezekiel 45:22 said the coming prince shall what? Make a sacrifice for himself and the people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So my thing is I'm like, if he that person, why he ain't do that? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, seriously. Like, you know what I'm saying? After the fact he trying to sit here trying to I ain't trying to convert of me being a I'm like, nah, I ain't no thug. You
Put it like
because I
this.
talk different than you.
Put it
You
like
know what I'm
this.
saying? Because I don't talk proper like everybody else because I'm so happy to be from, you know what I'm saying, you know, the so-called South where they really think like people down here are not intelligent, but but hey, matter of fact, we can read Ezekiel.
Well, no. You made the point. You made the point. The point was made. I just want to say this last bit that I mean, we said something on there. I think God said it. These guys need to just humble themselves and admit that they was wrong. And I even gave them the hint. Apologize for what you made your statement and all of the insult that you getting, what you started it, would go away. You know what I'm saying? I try to tell like everybody, anybody that deals specifically with me. You insult me one time, I give you a warning. You insult me the second time, you don't want to see me get into insult mode because I am the worst. I'm the most rudest nigga on this shit with the scriptures. I'm your best friend when it comes down to teaching. I have a passion for teaching,
And
but don't turn around and insult and then try to play like you is the victim. They
yeah,
good at that.
and and check this though. He was trying to say that Christ was crucified on the on Passover, this, that, and the third, or whatever. And I was like, and I'm sitting there telling him, I was like, fam, I was like, you just don't know how little that you know scripture. I was like, yeah, you got the time and you got the date right and everything, or when Passover was supposed to start, but what you forgot was was like when I told him about the coming prince and everything, because when he brought up that Passover and Christ being crucified or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I was like, man, this how you know that that New Testament is flawed or whatever, because
Not
because
that it's, not that
because
it's flawed.
because the whole
You,
reason
you
of
give
me,
you giving it light by saying it's flawed. You got to take the whole thing and just say it's garbage. Ain't nothing even in it that's worthy to even be read. It's not
true,
flawed. It's just completely hogwash,
yeah,
bullshit.
true,
It's a lie that's being spread through centuries and many centuries have passed, and it's
and
continually spreading, and people are not getting it.
and check
Throw that bullshit out.
and check
It
this
ain't worth
though. And check this though. The whole reason why I even brung up the whole sacrificing for himself and the people and everything, because he brung up he brung up Passover, and the first thing that came to my mind was Ezekiel 45. I just brung up Ezekiel 45:22. I ain't even mentioned Ezekiel 21 when it says, in the first on the 13th on the 14th day of the month you shall have the Passover, a festival of 7 days. Unleavened bread shall be eaten.
it.
Verse 22: the prince shall make on that day for himself and all the people of Israel a bull for a sin offering.
Correct. Correct.
And
Yeah, I'm out, guys.
Correct. We're
Got to
about to
go, so
shut
I'll
down
see you
anyway.
and
guys later.
We're about to close out.
and
Anyway. Give us like 5
and a
minutes.
direct and a direct precept to that is we got Leviticus 9:2, and and we also got like the 17th verse right above it. But I'm gonna read that 17th verse for first for that 17th verse. It says, the burnt offering and the meal offering and the libation of the festival, and on the new moon, and on the Sabbath, and on all the times fixed for meeting of the house of Israel shall develop on the prince, and he shall prepare the sin offering and the meal offering to effect atonement for the house of Israel.
That's correct.
And let me go to let me go to Leviticus 9:2. And it said, and he said to Aaron, take yourself a bull calf as a sin offering and a ram as a burnt offering, both unblemished, and bring them near before the Lord. Basically, basically, basically saying when he brought that up, right? We know that old dude up in the New Testament did not do that. He he ain't do none of that.
That's right.
When he bring up the Passover, this, that, and the third, I was like, yeah, you got the date right, but what he did on that date was wrong. He did not execute Ezekiel 45, and I only brung up 22 because I was being nice. Because I was really being nice when I really just could have started from the top of the chapter and read on down.
Mhm. Put it like
Because
this. Put it like this. Put it like this. I'm gonna leave them in the group for a little while because they're entertaining, and if they choose to stay for the good, it would be very good that they would learn. But if they choose to run, well, I'm gonna let them run. I don't think that they're pretty much gonna get it with the way they think anyway. But
Man,
anyway, let's close this one out.
so I just wish I had your number when like your direct line when I called them because I definitely would have called you on three-way just for you to hear the foolery.
Yeah. Well, they definitely got roasted tonight, even though they did pass show. So it's on them. Shalom.
Shalom.